Asher, I need to hear the
There.
Zazie just walked in the door to give me your
Zazie
voice.
girl, hello. Hi. Oh, and then there are songs.
I need it all.
Like she's a Zazie girl in a Zazie world. Zazie girl in a Zazie world is that one.
Okay.
There's she's fantastic, enthusiastic is the rest of that.
Hi, I'm Maggie Lawson, and welcome to Unconditional. Every week, we explore the extraordinary bond between people and their pets. This isn't just another pet podcast. This is about the extraordinary lengths we go to for our furry family, the moments of connection, and the way they transform us. In this episode, I sat down with my new friend, Asher Grodman, who just wrapped filming his hit series, Ghosts. He also was just nominated for a Critics' Choice Award, so go Asher, we'll be rooting for you. He drove all the way down from Montreal to record with us because, as far as he's concerned, talking about his dog is the most important thing in the world. We love him so much. So whether you're a dog person, a cat person, or just someone who wants a little extra joy and connection in your day, Unconditional is the podcast that celebrates the deep, life-changing love we share with our pets. Anyway, so Ghost almost didn't happen, so you thought.
Yes. So what happened to us was we were all in LA to shoot the pilot and do the table read, which is the big, if you don't know, is the big scary thing where like you're looking around like, oh, someone's gonna get fired because it's the first time the cast is together, and then
It happens a lot.
It happens a lot.
with
Yes.
that someone gets fired from a
and we were, I think, only like 60% cast. I think there were like 6 of the 10 of us were there for this. And it was supposed to be on the Monday, and then they rescheduled it for the Tuesday, and they kept pushing it back. So every day was that anxiety of if we were going to keep our jobs. And eventually it landed on this Friday, and we did it that morning. Thursday night, the night before, the NBA had shut down because of COVID. Or it was the NBA or the NBA?
NBA was the first, yeah.
NBA was the first. And then we did the table read. Everyone got to keep their jobs. It was very exciting. And we broke for lunch and never came back.
I don't mean to laugh, but I feel like that's...
No, that's the...
And you
for
were
me, it was
here,
like,
right? Like in New Jersey. This was like ground zero.
So this is actually a great segue into the Zazie story because I've been doing...
Zazie, this is a pet podcast. We are talking about pets.
This is the reason I'm here.
Asher is on Ghosts. It's an incredible show.
Thank you.
It's been nominated. He just got a Critics' Choice Award nomination. So
Thank
exciting.
you.
So great. But enough about all
Enough
that.
about that.
We want to hear about your pet.
Exactly. Well, and this is, I drove down from Montreal last night. And
Last night?
Last night. We wrapped last night. So I drove down. I got in late last night. And this is like, I know. But no, but hold on. You're just, wait. And we're leaving for a couple days for this trip. So I have like 2 days in New York, and Joni explained what this podcast was just to come in and talk about my dog. And this felt like the most important thing in the world. And I just want to thank you because as far as I'm concerned, you should be knighted or whatever because this is the greatest thing.
You heard it here first.
The greatest thing I ever want to do is talk about my dog who I miss very much right now.
I feel the same way. And I also feel like we are different. They bring out the best in us. My dogs have changed my life. My animals have all changed my life in some way. I have a very unique relationship with them. I feel like I'm my most authentic self. The unconditional love from them, I feel like makes me a better person. And I feel like when I talk to people, whether it's like an icebreaker on set, I've never met you before. And look at it, like we're sitting here and because of the subject and everything, and I'm not saying it's just because of that. I think we get along anyway.
I agree.
So I don't know. And it doesn't exist. This podcast doesn't exist. There are pet podcasts about like training tips and, but like a relationship podcast about pets.
Yeah.
I just want to talk to people about their pets. So I wanted to hear tell me from the beginning and tell me everything about your pets and your history of that, but mainly about Zazie and your special relationship with her. Because I'll also tell you, Joni was like, so Andrew, who's one of our producers on this as well, sort of my partner in this, he called me and he's like, do you have time to do another interview when you're in New York? Because I was talking to Joni and she was like, oh my God, I have... Like she just said, you were the perfect person because you love Zazie so much. And anyway, so thank you so much for making this happen. And
I'm probably gonna cry a bunch during this thing, so just be prepared for that.
Me too.
Great. So let me start just some unique, crazy dog stuff about me, because it'll be relevant. I grew up on what was, prior to my parents buying it, a small horse farm in New Jersey, but no horses anymore. It was just like kennels and stuff. And my mom is from Oklahoma, and like farm country in Oklahoma. And so kind of, I guess, recreated that a little bit. And at the peak, we had as many as 14 dogs.
Oh my gosh.
At one time. And then like 5 cats running around. And, you know, deer and geese and bears and anything around was just roaming.
Sounds like
But there was a lot of, so dogs, and I feel like there's this thing that happens in a lot of families where there's communication between people, but sometimes the animal becomes the conduit for communication. Does that make it? Yeah. And I feel like that we were that. Yes.
So when you say that, when you say the communication in your family it was like if the pets were around or the pets were the subject or they came into the room, were people different? And then you had better and open communication is sort of what you're saying? Or they were just the way into deeper conversations?
I guess more the former, but probably both, because I think that there is sometimes when you get into the deep stuff, so I come from a pretty intense family. I think they would all agree with that.
I don't know your family.
Sometimes there's
I don't know what that means.
Well, yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
But let's just say sometimes you need like a lighter life raft when you get into dark stuff, and dogs are like the greatest at that.
1,000%.
And they all have their own. One of the things about growing up on like I guess in that space with nature is that there aren't that many things that you have to train a dog to be able to do. You're not living in New York where life is so regimented. Our dogs were growing up like had free reign to do whatever they wanted. Yeah, in and out of the house. So very few restrictions. And when that happens, and I think this is true in any circumstance with any dog, but I notice especially in that situation, personalities really show up. And so you'd have dogs that were very, very mellow and dogs that ran the house and like the gamut in between. I will say
roles.
They take on different roles.
Yeah.
I will say that we've had, or my parents have had, I don't know, 25 something dogs over the course of my life. And in my head, there's everyone, and then there's Zazi. and I don't know what, I think a lot of it is just her, that she's just a very unique dog. But I think one of the biggest factors is that when I'd been an actor for 20 years and mostly just banging my head against a wall, and things were not working the way I hoped they would. And then February, I guess, of 2020, I booked this pilot. And it was my first pilot, and I'm like, oh my God, this finally happened.
Ghost was your first pilot?
It was my first pilot that I booked. Yeah. And then we're out there like moments away. We're supposed to shoot this thing on that Monday. Friday, the world shuts down and pandemic. And so suddenly I'm back to living at home with my parents. Because I don't mean to laugh. No, it's fine. You can absolutely laugh. And it wasn't like I could have been at my place in New York. I could have, of course. But I wanted space. And New York was pretty shut down at the time. So I really was there for like a year until we shot the pilot, and then it got picked up, because for that whole year, there were no vaccines. There was nothing. And so I was like, I finally have this dream thing.
And you can't do it.
And I have to batten down the hatches, because if this thing goes and then I get COVID, then
that was such a fear at that time, right? You're like, I could lose everything, because I like if you got hired for a job and you tested positive for COVID, you were out. Like it was anyway. So it was a very scary time, though.
A scary time, and we had no idea what was going on. I think it's hard to it's just a whole different worldview. So anyway, that year, Zazi shows up.
How?
And my parents got they needed another dog. They got another dog, and it was their dog. But over the course of that year, the dynamic changed very drastically, because I hadn't been living at home since I was like 17. And this dog quickly, we quickly glommed onto each other. And of course, the sad part of this that kills me, and then my girlfriend also teases me about, is that I can't have her with me, because a year in that world, in addition to it would be a fight with my parents, but in a year in that world, and then moving to New York, and then I spend majority of every year in Montreal.
Yeah, you're working.
So this is like an impossible scenario. So my parents have actually weirdly stumbled upon this amazing way to get me
to come home.
me out there, as much as possible.
Oh my God.
I'm just obsessed with this dog.
Well, she picked you.
She picked me and I picked her. Yeah.
And you picked her. Like you're like little soulmates. I mean, look, I think a lot of people talk about like you can have 5 dogs, but you also have what you could call them your heart dog, your soul dog. Like then there's your like soulmate.
Yeah.
And Zazi's your soulmate. You could have 30 dogs, but no, this
one,
she knows.
She was different. And she was like, and there's been a lot of labs. Have you spent time with labs?
Oh yeah.
They're pretty at a certain point.
Yeah.
Well, they're hyper to a point, but then they kind of mellow. They mellow they quickly become, the rug. And Zazie does not do that. She has a motor and she says what she wants.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of that I think is a mix of her and also every impulse she had, I encouraged. And so she's the loudest. She's very clear with her intentions
and boundaries and all of it.
Yes. And she just has this, and this dog that she had it's a torn CCL for a dog, right? Which is like the most common.
The knee one?
The knee thing, which is horrible for a dog who wants to move. And she will go do sprints with 3 legs. Like she just will not stop, which I love. And she swims and she does all the things. And there were 2 other dogs there when she was a puppy, and they were old men. And Zazie bossed them around as a puppy and had just like endless energy and endless joy and a vocal range that like any animal would aspire for. She's amazing. And I wish she was here right now. And then she just re-injured her knee. So now she's really locked down. She's miserable right now. I know.
They do that. Linus, my dog, same thing, had both of his back knees replaced. And there are just certain days where I'll be like, oh my God, he's holding his leg up again. And then I'll be fine for a bit. And then the doctor will say like, oh yeah, he'll probably have to have they'll have to like throw something else in there to keep the knee in place again or whatever. But it's hard, but they're so resilient. Like I get emotional for him. I'll be like, oh buddy, he doesn't care. He's fine. He's
Resilience is a good word.
Yeah, they're crazy. So Zazie comes into your life during the pandemic.
Yeah.
You get a year with her.
Yeah.
Then you got to go.
She just becomes the whole world for me.
She's your whole world.
Yeah, she's everything.
I love this. How has she?
I would run. I would run. I was just trying to stay in shape and everything, and I would run out there. And I think I took her one time on a leash with me just to like run around the property, and that's all it took. And now anytime I'm there, she will, no matter what she's doing, she just runs along beside me. Yeah. And then when I leave, that's what you're gonna ask is how do I handle when I leave. She gets in the car every time
with you
or with me. Like as soon as the door opens, she's in before I can get in.
Oh no!
It's I every time I leave, I'm
do you cry?
Streaming. Yeah,
oh,
it's horrible.
So
and if she can't get in the car, then she sits behind the car, so I can't pull out. It's absolutely horrible.
She also like knows you.
Yeah,
like she's like.
No, she knows that I'm very weak. She knows.
She's got your number.
I have to show you. I don't know if this is the worst thing to do on a podcast because
no, it's not. We're gonna. Oh, are you kidding? You're gonna send me all this, and we're gonna put it up. And
I will send you this, but I just have to show you just so you have some visual representation. This is, I believe, me coming home from shooting the pilot.
You were gone for how long?
I was gone for like 2 weeks.
Okay.
And
you died inside.
Well,
like, Zazie.
Hold on. I'm gonna find this thing.
Does Zazie
buy time for me?
Does she? Oh, I have questions. I've got so many questions.
Right.
Does Zazie is she possessive of you? Like say around your girlfriend or around your like anybody else that's like coming near you or you're giving attention to? Is she like no, he's mine? She's not
possessed. Well, first of all, look at this. Look at the talent of this. This is her. I'm not kidding. Picking apples.
I'm watching a video of. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. She's a lab?
She's a lab.
She almost looks like she has a little like Pyrenees or something.
Yeah, she's very white.
Yeah, she's very white and like husky.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Oh my God, she's picking apples.
She can jump up into a tree, grab an apple, and pull it down and just start chewing. I've never seen a dog do this. I've never seen.
Asher talking about Zazie is the sweetest thing I've ever seen. How do you think that Zazie makes you a better person,
Yeah.
partner,
for sure.
actor. How?
I think my girlfriend would scoff at this. I think there's a parental thing that starts showing up, or like, a caretaking thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a really watching, like really being attuned to thoughts and feelings and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And not that I would have.
Herself? Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because everything she's doing is making me feel something. So of course, like I'm more attuned to that animal than almost anything else in the world.
And is it because she is, and it sounds like to you as well.
Here we go. This is what I want to show you.
This is so fun.
Oh wait, hold on. I have to turn. This is so horrible of me.
Why?
Because I'm showing you videos on this.
Everyone listening right now is like, what is going on?
What is happening?
But Asher, look, we have video, so we're gonna
Oh, there you go.
We'll have video on like our YouTube and stuff. I should warn people, huh?
You should warn people.
Well, it's on video too. Yeah.
Well,
I mean, you look fantastic.
I can't get. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, but
so do you.
We're gonna share this video.
It's gonna be very excited. Let's see. Hi, princess. Hi.
Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. She got in the car. She's in the car. She's in the driver's side of the car, and she can't fit. She can't actually fit.
I don't know how she gets.
She wormed her way in. Oh my God! Can we have? Well, send this to me. We have to share that. Oh my God!
Like, I mean, how is this what?
But this is what I mean. They can change your entire day. You literally could. For me, anyway. Like I've been away from Linus now for like 5 days. I'm so homesick for him.
Yeah.
I'm like dying. This interview it's making me feel closer to him, which is so good.
Yeah.
How do you think that Zazi has like changed your life? Like what was life like before, and what is the impact she's had? And well, I guess it's similar to saying like, how does she make you a better person? Because I feel like they always make us better people.
Yeah.
She's obviously your like morning, noon, and night when you can be with her.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's a sense of, and I don't mean this in any way as like to diminish anything else, but there's a sense of home outside of yourself. And I think there is a thing in life that the more people you touch, or the more things in the world that you're connected to, the more of a home you feel. And I just don't know that I have it's like perhaps the purest connection of that exists out in the world. It is unconditional. It is, and I think there is. I have a tendency for the dark, and Zazie doesn't do that.
Yeah,
Zazie like immediately
yanks you out of it.
Yanks you out. There's so much joy. There's a motor.
Yeah. She's like,
there's curiosity.
Can't be in your head. Take me on a walk. Get me out of the house.
Yeah.
Like, pay attention. Pay attention. Come
and
over
it's
here.
constantly. It's like if she was right, she would be sitting right here. If you were me, sitting right here staring at you. And then if you don't acknowledge her, she's gonna start yelling at you.
Yeah.
She'll put a paw on your knee first.
Yeah.
And be like, excuse me. Excuse me.
I'm here.
Some do, yeah.
Look at me.
Just like locking eyes with you.
Yeah. And you love me.
And she does this like, and then it goes into just bark, bark, bark.
So there's no world for you to sit and stew in your own stuff. I know with Linus, sometimes I'll be in, it could literally be just like an Instagram or some kind of like rabbit hole. I'm down doing something on my phone. He will swat my phone out of my hand. And I don't even think he's aware what the little contraption is. He just knows that thing is making me distracted and over here. And probably he can sense anxiety or whatever the hell's going on. And so he has to come over and be like, no, we're not doing that. We're going to go on a walk. Yeah. We're going to have fun. What I love about him is like I've had other dogs that I felt like absorbed energy. So sometimes like if I was having a bad day, I could tell like my dog who I had before, like she would either get a stomach ache or she would have like she would take it on in some way. And the thing I love about Linus is he's like, I'm not going to take any of it on. I'm aware of it. I'm gonna come in and yank you out of it. He's like a protector, a little bit, yeah. And I sounds like Zazie's kind of that way with you.
I think Zazie's also like, we're not gonna waste a single moment. I think that's probably the biggest thing with her. Because you won't get all that time. Well, yeah, we don't get that much time. But even when I was out there for that year, there was no moment to be wasted.
Right.
Like we're gonna sleep. Or we're gonna play.
Or
we're not gonna sit around.
Yeah,
we can eat, but we're not gonna sit around and just like think about stuff or watch stuff. We're gonna do things.
And be present.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's this pond on the out of my parents that again it was more like a puddle when I was a kid, but it's grown. And all these dogs, no one's ever gotten in. Zazie would just start swimming loops in the pond with all these fish and everything. And she'll get up, she'll go do a loop, she'll go run a loop, she'll go pick apples. Like she comes in as though she just ran a bunch of errands or something.
God. She did.
This is the daily. I would say this is like one of her average settings in terms of.
I love your phone. Oh my God.
Like she's constantly. She looks white, but she's never white.
She's gray. She's really gray. That's a gray dog.
Covered in muck.
That is a gray dog. But I love that you said that you have a tendency for the dark, and she kind of she takes you out of that. And was that something?
And I think a lot of dogs do.
That's literally what I feel like. They're so healing. I mean, there are studies.
A lot of dogs will do like the "I'll sit with you" thing.
Yeah.
Zazie's like, let's go.
Get up.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, get up and get out. That's so important, though. Why did you say your girlfriend would scoff at you for saying the parental thing about the dog?
Oh, just because she's like, she doesn't live with you. It's not like it's not your child.
Oh, I see. It's not your child.
My girlfriend has a dog who I love very much.
Okay. What kind of a dog?
She's an Aussie Doodle with a lot of personality, Bizet. And Bizet and Zazie are very good friends.
Bizet?
Yes. And Bizet does get Bizet is an only child. She does get very possessive.
Okay.
Zazie's a
Now I want to interview her and Bizet as well about Zazie. And
the two of them are very good friends.
I love this. That's so funny. She's like, wait, but is Bizet her child?
Bizet is her child.
But she thinks your relationship is different because you don't get to see Zazie as much, so therefore you don't get to refer to your dog as the child.
Yes, she's yes. That's the fundamental.
I love this.
It's just her teasing me, but yes, she makes a point.
Asher, I'm gonna make you do your dog. I'm gonna make you do your voice for Zazie. I hope you're
my voice for Zazie.
Yeah, so
I might even be able to give you like the real Zazie voice. Is this what happens with the podcast that most people are just like coming on and getting on their phones and showing you pictures and videos?
It depends. Like in this case, your pups are not here. Janelle, who I did recently, both of her dogs were running around the studio. Henry's dog was literally tugging at me the entire interview this way. So a lot of times they're here.
I wish.
No, it's okay. But a lot of times they won't be here. And yes, then
it's just I can't. You hit a certain point, and I think the city it's such a stimulating thing that it's not.
I had Linus here for 2 weeks in October, and I've only had him for a year. And we've been to Vancouver, we've been in LA. Like he walked out of the hotel and it was just like feet and people, and like he figured it out because he's a master adapter, but it's a lot for them.
But at least like LA is like a step.
Yeah.
This is like, there's nothing.
It's a lot.
Trees.
You also just have to know your dog. Like there are some city dogs, it's fine. But like if you know your dog is used to picking apples and running around a pond and jumping in the water, then you want to give them that.
I'll show you. This is Bizet and Zazie in slow motion.
Oh, Bizet's so cute. Oh yeah. Oh, look at those teeth. Oh my God, we're gonna have to show.
I mean, how great is that?
Like a National Geographic video from something in the wild when like a couple of lions or cougars are going at it, and they're like,
and they never
all their teeth.
touch each other.
I see
it's
this.
All like teeth and viciousness and never touching.
Oh my God, I love it.
Which is just incredible.
Okay, so Bizet and Zazie.
Look at this hippity hoppity. Is this
recent?
This is no. They haven't had that snow out there.
So you've had Zazie for what year are we in?
She's 5.
She's 5. She was a pup?
She in that?
No, when your parents got her.
Yeah. She was like a couple months.
And that's it.
Old. And it's funny, when they got her, there was a real concern because she had a heart murmur. And it was like, oh God, I don't know if she's gonna be okay. And the irony, of course, and yes, she's had the litany of, she's had cancer a couple times, like skin cancer. I know, it's crazy. And she has these little black like calcium deposit growth things. It's a long name and I'm now losing it.
I feel terrible. I can't help
But she's had, it's okay. But she's had that. She's had the knee thing. She's had all this stuff. She's 5 years old, and yet there is no slowing down happening.
Yeah.
And I think that's amazing.
Well, they're here for us
me, that's
too.
a very
I feel like a lot of times they have a job to do. Like she's your princess, so she's like, I need to be there for him.
Yeah.
And because I do feel like, and not to make anything sad, but I do feel like they come into our lives. They have such short lives, and some are very short adventures that we have together, and some are like super long adventures that we have together. But it's always like I can look back even at the dogs I've had and think, oh my God, I needed this dog through that time, or this dog through that time. Like this, they get you through these certain parts of your life, and she's not going anywhere as long as, especially when you were like, oh, I can have a tendency for the dark. She's going to always make sure you're okay, I think, before she's like even sort of thinking of checking out of here.
The no limits, no boundaries, no stopping.
Right.
That constant.
It keeps you going.
There's a gym in the basement that I use out there, and this glass door, and she'll open the door.
I was like, don't tell me she like works out on the treadmill.
She like no, but she could. I'm trying. I have to refrain from showing you all the things.
Oh my God, this is so cute. It's like she's here, but she's not.
It is.
And we wish
so
she
this
was.
is her with their new puppy who worships her.
Oh, what is the paw on the
paw
on the thing? It's like dad.
It's like get in.
This is
Excuse
very,
me.
very cute.
Excuse me. No.
No. How many dogs do they have? Right
And
now?
they have 3. And
Oh my
she'll
God.
either do that or she'll sit at the top of the stairs, and then this will happen.
Baby.
Baby, this is a good girl.
Quite a communicator.
Yeah, this is mostly me communicating right now, but I'll give you some of her.
Asher, not
That's
the
me.
dog,
That's me.
everyone.
Sorry. Yes. That's me. All right. Yeah.
What is this
There we
language?
go.
What did you just say to
This
her?
is her language. There we go.
Were you waiting for me?
Yes, but what were you communicating to her in her language?
What was I communicating to her? That's,
Oh my God, this is so
I
funny.
think it's a little bit of, are you there? Do you want to go do something? That kind of thing.
Asher, I need to hear
Are you there?
Zazi just walked
Go,
in the
baby.
door. Give me your
That's
voice.
girl. Hello, hello, hello. Hi. Oh, and then there are songs.
I need it all.
Like she's a Zazie girl in a Zazie world. That kind of thing. The Barbie song.
is this?
Zazie girl in a Zazie world is that one.
Okay.
There's she's fantastic, enthusiastic is the rest of that. There's what else? What are the other songs that we've had? Wow, it's so they end up just coming to me, and not when I'm like thinking about them. I feel like there's there's the Pink Zazie Club.
Oh,
Chapel Roan.
of course,
Come on.
of course.
Pink Zazie Club. I think the main one for her is the that kind of thing that happens, and that's I have patience. You're running out of time. You're running out of time. You didn't do it. Now we're barking. That's what happens.
That's her.
That's her.
How would she describe you? What would she say about you if I were like, Zazie, tell me about your pop. Tell me about your king. What would she say?
What would she say? Her king. I should say he's not my king.
Well, you say you call her your princess. So.
That's right. That's
yes,
right.
Pop.
What would she say? I think she would say he's the fun one. She would say he's mine. I think she would say he wants to play with me. And I need him. I really want to. I think
she were to
I
give
think
you
I'm the one
advice-
who's gonna run with her. That's.
okay.
I think I'm the one who runs at her speed, and that's why it's me.
She would be like, Dad, get out of your head. We're going for a run.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not that, I mean, and the truth is, all I have to do is think about her, and I'm out of my head. That's the real magic of it.
This is what I mean.
Yeah.
This is what this is why I'm talking about this, because also I didn't know you before today, right?
Yeah.
And now we will leave because we talked about that, exactly what you said about your family, by the way, exactly what you said about like when the pets were there and the communication. But it's also like, for me, the icebreaker of pets, you're in a different space. We go into like a totally different heart space when we talk about our pets. And so it opens, I call them, they are like that's what they do, but they're also like this great unifier. Like you can't, no matter wherever you're from or whatever you do or whatever, when you talk about pets with somebody, everybody's on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd say I don't know what that is. I think there is something about getting out of yourself a little bit. I think there's also that especially dogs are just incredible.
I had someone
just the
say that
purest
they had
thing.
like a life-changing kind of a crisis like 10 years ago. And they started going to therapy, and they were like, the only place they felt that they could truly be their authentic self, so they could like sort of practice like who they really are in the world, was when they were with their dogs. And I was like, oh, that's an interesting way to look at it. I'd never really thought about the dogs being that way. But when we're with them, because there's no judgment and it's pure love, we can be in the space that's fully ourselves too.
You know, it's funny you say that, because I think, especially as an actor trying to be creative and all that, I think a brain space opens with an animal, or at least I have this, with dogs especially. A creative brain space opens where you're kind of like, oh, that's my instinct, that's my sense of play, that's my sense of goofiness or creativity, or the desire to participate. And then it's so powerful that it really just takes the thought of that. Mm-hmm. And I remember being in grad school and for acting and feeling very like creatively kind of shut down. And it was the memories I had with dogs and that kind of sensibility or sensation or something that unlocked things for me. And then I just kind of let that become, like, I think a lot of my friends would describe me as like a puppy energy or that kind of thing. And so I think that I'm sure that's
opened you up as an actor as well. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
And because that's also the safe space.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
That kind of playful and not wasting a moment thing.
That is so important.
Yeah.
Like, they remind you, I think, that like we don't know we don't know what time we have. We don't know what tomorrow brings. We don't know. So because that's how they're in it. They're in the moment all the time.
Yeah.
So they force us to have to be that way too. What do you think, if Zazie had an occupation in the world, what would it be? I mean, she's a pretty great apple.
I mean, I think she would be an athlete of some kind. I really do. I know that sounds so.
She might be like a high jumper. I mean, she can really jump up there.
I think that she, like, my parents used to have a little house on the shore in New Jersey, and so that, I think the first 2 summers of Zazie's life, we would go out there, and first of all, we really never had a dog who kind of knew how to swim, and I taught her how to swim. And then we would get to the point that I would just like throw a tennis ball out into the ocean and these big waves, and she would just be like, let's go.
Yeah.
And jumping over these waves and going to get this stuff and the ball and bringing it back. She's fearless. She loves to be chased. I just feel like it's going to be like stealing something and getting, actually there's this really cute thing that happens where we played a game when she was a puppy where I would chase her around the dining room table. And it would just be like, it's not that big of it's doing loops. And now at 5 years old, any time that she has something that I think she wants, and we could be at any corner of the house or not outside, maybe not outside, but any corner of the house. And the plan is to get down to that table so we can get back into those loops.
Oh, man.
And that is the most, I just think that's the sweetest thing in the world.
She remembers that.
Yeah.
Come home.
It's her happy little thing. Yeah.
Do you have any rules about Zazie in the house? Do you have any rules about? Oh, no. Well,
I would never.
Some people are like.
So no, go ahead.
I don't know.
I think she can do whatever the hell she wants. I would love nothing more than for Zazie to be in the bed as I slept. Like I have no.
She's free range. She gets to do whatever.
The only, I guess, rule occasionally that will happen is because she has an amazing vocal instrument and it can get very loud. Is sometimes we just want to just tone it down just a little bit. But
so maybe
that's really
singer.
Listen, maybe she could be a singer. The athlete thing is really
she's an athlete.
The motor, but she could absolutely be a singer. She could do the national anthem and then do the sporting event right afterwards.
She can do the whole thing. The whole show is awesome.
And she's so smart. She can, figuring out how to pick the apple is pretty smart. Opening doors is pretty smart.
They're wild. Yeah, she's really smart.
She's very.
That's like very in tune with like nature and like the way things work too.
Yeah.
Which I don't know that a lot of dogs, well, I guess depending on where they grow up now, have that instinct. I actually think they always kind of have that. One of my favorite things with Linus is when I see him turn into a dog, because I kind of see him as like.
What do you mean?
A communicator. like when he's playing with another dog and all the animal instincts come out. Like I feel like because we have them in our homes and we have this routine and they are so in tune with us. Like sometimes I almost forget this is an animal.
Yeah.
And then, but I love when he just goes
It's a
into
wild
like,
animal. It's
dog
living in your house.
right?
Yeah.
And they like, and we communicate with them energetically, vocally, like in all these different ways. But then sometimes when he's playing with another dog or like just something happens and he loses his shit for a minute, like, and he'll even look at me like, I don't know what that was. And I'm like, that was a dog. You're a dog. And like, you actually just had a doggy instinct for a minute. Yeah, even though I see you as a far more superior being on this planet. It is a funny thing. I always love when I can see that side.
But I love that there's kind of both a superior being and you're a dog. Like, and there's this.
Dogs are superior, but what am I saying?
Yeah,
you know,
there is the there's a, I don't know, a simplicity, I guess. That's not really what I mean, but
what is the craziest
clarity
thing? Yeah, yeah. What is the what do you think is the craziest or most embarrassing thing she's ever done? Do you have a crazy, wild, like I can't believe Zazie just did this story, or embarrassed you anywhere, in a good way?
I don't think I've ever been anything but exuberantly proud of Zazie.
Even if she did something that was like,
even destroying stuff, I would some level have been proud of it. I was teaching acting at Hunter College up until the show got picked up. Actually, no, I think I did a semester after we got picked up too, because it aligned after we shot season 1. And that year I was doing it on Zoom. And so there were some instances of like Zazie taking over a class, like that may have happened, but that's not.
Oh, I
like
love that though.
There is no class that wouldn't be made better by a dog showing up and expressing her feelings.
Yeah,
I don't think that's embarrassing. No,
not a
problematic.
Or just like,
maybe like stealing stuff.
Yeah,
there was clearly an animal had gotten in to the pond and killed a fish, and we found a fish head in the yard, and Zazie held on to this thing for way too long.
Oh no!
That was so much fun. Oh yeah, she was like, "Oh, you all want this?"
Yeah,
great. But that's the thing. I think there is something about there are dogs who really acknowledge the rules.
Yeah.
And I think there are dogs, and I think this, I hope this isn't sexist, but it's just what I've noticed in my life is a little more the girls, especially the female labs, will be like, okay, that's a rule. So I'm just going to push a little bit and see exactly where this rule is.
I agree with you. I think the female, my girl.
And I think that's a thing, because I think that like wolves are kind of matriarchal.
Yeah.
So
they are.
There's some
that's hilarious
about that.
Yeah. I love that you're like, all of the isms of all of the dogs and all of their I don't know, all the buttons that can be pushed and how they push yours. And I don't know. I feel like we at this point are discovering now the power they have, kind of what we've been talking about, but also even beyond that in healing. Like they're now taking therapy dogs into schools after mass shootings. They're taking them into universities for finals week. And they're finding that across the board, they're helping people settle in like very stressful situations. They're like helping kids even who have trouble public speaking or reading aloud in class. They'll put them in a room with a cat or a dog and they'll speak clearly. It builds their confidence to go. Like we are discovering so many things about like the healing power of animals. And I feel like we all know it on kind of an individual level, but I'm also like happy to see it's like starting to happen on a much bigger scale as well.
I think there's moving something outside of ourselves, because the human to human thing is hard. It's just hard.
It's hard.
Sometimes
but when you talk about dogs, it's not as hard.
It's not as hard.
Think about that. You could sit down and talk to anybody about their pet any day, and we're all kind of in the same space about it. I know exactly like where your heart's
at. It's like this liminal space of love.
Yeah,
that happens with this other thing happens with dogs. Oh, sorry, I'm just like coming up with like Zazie.
I literally was just about to say any
things that she does. She goes, she'll do a thing where she will. I can't believe that she can figure this out. She'll be at the top of the stairs and she'll roll a ball down the stairs and chase it.
Yeah, because she understands. Like
she's like,
I'll play with myself.
Crazy, yeah. This is insane. She'll bring,
She plays her own game of fetch.
Her favorite thing is the soccer ball.
Okay.
Me kicking the soccer ball and going to get it. And so she brings me the soccer ball.
The soccer player.
She does catchies with the tennis ball, and she'll catch it and then throw it back. I mean, that's so smart. Dogs
They're
should be able
so
to do
smart.
that.
They get everything. They also watch us. Like, they take on a lot of like what we do. It's like, oh, this is the bed where we sleep. Okay, we all eat over here. We all eat out of bowls. We all like they actually pick up on everything. They are incredibly smart. They're magic. They're magical little beings.
They are.
And we are lucky
I wish
to
she could
have
be
them
here.
and know them.
I wish she could be here.
I'll ask you one more thing.
Please.
If Zazie were like, if
I want to know some of these answers for Linus, by the way.
what?
Like, what's Linus's profession? Without even knowing the breed, I just want to know.
Linus for sure is one of those like a testing company for like how much pressure can you put on this toy before it breaks? How much resistance can this thing? He could literally
he's
test
the testing
toys.
company?
He's the company.
Oh, I see.
He could
I see.
literally
Okay,
because
okay.
like if you want to build a toy that like has like all the resistance, so like these tough toys exist now, like whatever, he will
destroy.
He's tiny, right? Like he's the tiniest, cutest little thing. This is Linus. That's Linus.
Oh.
Yeah, he's ridiculous. And what he does, so there's this Taylor Swift song called I don't think it's called this, but the lyric is like, my boy only breaks his favorite toys. So Linus has this thing that's like, he will grow and grab his favorite toys. And I don't know where he gets the strength or like, and the power to throw this thing around. Like he does the same thing. He will throw his toys up in the air and like throw it over there just so he can run and get it and destroy it. So I feel like on a, like I mean, that's a very like dog specific kind of occupation. And otherwise, I think he'd be like an influencer or something.
Oh,
like
wow.
just like a fun, like absolutely. Like I think he's very comfortable with his, like he's a master adapter. He makes other people very comfortable. So what would that be? That would be maybe like there are people who are very good at that, right? Journalists, hosts, people like that know how to like put other people at ease very quickly. Therapists. But I don't think he's that. I think he's more like not a prankster, but he's there to like make you laugh and like get you out of yourself and like put on a little show or like whatever. So that's why I say an influencer, because it's not like specific to one little thing, but he's definitely a little bit of a showman. Yeah.
There's a thing. I wonder if Linus does this. There's a thing that Zazie will do where, like, if we were sitting right here, she'd be on the ground with just one paw on your foot.
He does that too. He does his full. He'll put his head right here in the mornings. Like I'll wake. So he's a master snuggler. I don't know if that's like an occupation. That's what he would be.
Well, I remember that was an occupation when I was in college. I remember there was a thing where I never did this, but where like it was because like professional snugglers was.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
That was. I mean, I wasn't doing it, but I know it was a thing.
What do you do?
I mean, this is a long time ago. My understanding was maybe this is still a thing where like you could like pay someone to come cuddle you.
Oh. I'm sorry. Are it like spooning or like just like snuggle up on the bed? Like I feel like it's a lot of different definitions of cuddling. Interesting. I feel a little weird about it. But Linus would definitely have been one.
Yeah, see, that's what I meant. With a dog, it's like
the dog is the best thing ever. I'd be like, absolutely. Are you kidding? If it was a face of a dog, and it was like at school or anywhere that said like, you can hire me to come snuggle you, every day, I'd pay all my money for that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, he's like a cat. He'll come like I have pictures of him just like across my neck in the mornings. God. Yeah, he's wonderful. He's just wonderful.
He's so sweet.
He swats my phone out of my hand. He'll literally bark at me if I'm. As you say, like in your head or like off in some space or whatever, he will bark at me and be like, we're leaving. He's very routine oriented. So at about 3 or 4 o'clock every day, I usually like take a walk or I get out and I'll take him on a walk with me, or we'll get in the car and we'll go somewhere and we get a pup cup at Starbucks. Man, if he doesn't get that.
The pup cup that's a lot for a little guy.
It is. Okay. So
is at a certain point, that's like
no,
it's like the equivalent of like a 40-ounce steak or something.
I tell them to put the tiniest bit in there because like he's going to gain weight or something, you can't do that every single day. But he does know, he will now drag, like he can smell a Starbucks because he's become so used to this. We went to Vancouver recently and we went on our very first walk out of the hotel and he was pulling me. He's not a puller, like he's a great walker. He's like pulling me down the street. And I could not figure out, we've never been here. He's never smelled any of these smells. He's not even stopping to see where he is. He pulls me to the door at Starbucks. He knew where Starbucks was based on a scent, the little shit, like in the best way, And then he would go and he just sits there and he watches the barista make it. Like it's like.
There's I live on the Upper West Side and there's they did a trick-or-treating for dogs.
Oh,
all the stores that had treats.
really?
Yeah, and so all the dogs were dressed up
No,
and going
it's the best.
door to door.
That's the absolute best. They're the best. Okay. Anything else you want to tell me about Zazi or
See if I have any.
I sometimes ask people if if she were a celebrity in the world, like who would she be? Like if you had to like place her personality. But I also think that's kind of weird because we can't like name her.
Yeah, I can't
Give her a
pick
different
person.
Yeah, exactly.
But I would say that like, I mean, like, look, this. Oh, here. This is actually this. I'm gonna give you a great photo. This is the moment that the soccer ball has left my foot, and so it's just in air.
Okay.
How great is that? She just wants
She's magic.
to move. She is magical.
I want to meet
That's right.
Zazie someday.
Oh my God! Let's make it happen, please.
Please. I bring
Do the
usually with me.
Do that. Great. We can do the do a follow-up podcast on location.
Are you kidding? Every single person I've done an interview with is like, can we do a follow-up?
Oh,
I'm like,
great.
Can we do a follow-up like
Let's
next
do it.
month? Yes.
Hey,
like it's so good.
I love it. This
I
is
love
her.
it
This
too.
is her when she was injured. Look at that sad girly.
Injured.
How that was when she was
She's
recovering
sad.
from her knee,
She's
isn't
so
that?
great.
But you can see
Love
this is so
her little
expressive.
eyes,
Her
yeah.
little eyes.
Yeah, she's having a hard time there.
This is her. This is
Papa.
really gonna kill you. This is gonna kill me. This is in the back of my car with her injury, and won't let me leave.
Oh my God. Oh, she was hurt too. So she was like, wait, what the?
Like, where
You're leaving? Yeah. Oh, baby.
This poor honey.
No, that's heartbreaking. Linus did this thing recently that took me a couple days to recover from. He met my mom. You all look like twins.
I know.
You actually look like family members there.
We have a very similar energy.
You
Many
can
people have
tell.
acknowledged.
Oh.
Have
Was she?
sorry,
did your
I don't
parents
mean to
get
keep
her from
interrupting you with photos, but
No, I love
I'm
it.
listening now.
This is what this is about. Did your parents get her from a breeder?
We got it from a breeder, which I do not approve of. I think people should rescue. I just want to say that.
Yeah, of course.
Obviously, I wouldn't change a thing. I'm madly in love with this dog, but I would please rescue.
No, I understand. I'm a rescue. I'm all about the rescue as well, but I also know that people have different reasons for doing different things and everybody's on a different journey and where they are is where they are. And like at the end of the day, I don't judge them for doing that. The doggy still needs a home. So,
Yeah.
but yes, rescue if you can. But anyway, so that's how your parents found her and that's how she.
Look at this one. This is also great. This is
Oh my God. By the way, is this your parents' house?
yeah.
Great. she got it. Oh my God.
How amazing is that?
So this is so crazy.
She's like a
She's a goalie.
couple months. I'm kicking a soccer ball,
pretty hard.
like trying to get it around her actually, because the game is trying to get it around her where she's almost like the goalie, and she basically catches it in her mouth like 4 feet away from me, which is just incredible.
Henry literally said my dog would be a
goalie.
Yeah.
That would be a good one. She just
Yeah.
wants to run a little more than being a goalie, but yeah, she would love that. That
Aren't
would be
these
right
great?
up her
Isn't this
alley.
great? Look at how happy you are right now.
I could do
is
this.
Literally, me. The only thing, and it has been like a wacky year and a wacky few
Yeah.
months. But anytime everyone has told me this lately, they're like, anytime you talk about the podcast, that is when you're like, or when you talk about these interviews, or when we talk about it, like, it changes everything. I don't want to just interview people. Like, it's not like, oh, tell me about like the tricks your pet can do. No, it's like, tell me about your pet.
Yeah.
Like, tell me about this relationship, because it is a relationship show. It is a relationship that we have with them. I've lost pets that I, grieved as much as my human family members, So it's like and I think because of that, sometimes we don't talk about it as much because we always feel like we have to say like, I mean, I know it's a dog, but at the same time, that's not, I think most people say that almost for other people because that's not actually, they're our loved
Yeah,
ones. They're
no, they
extensions
are our
of
loved
us.
ones, and there is I think there is this kind of safe space that happens with a dog where you get to feel and love freely. Yeah, we just did an episode about this actually on the show, which is a very weird thing. Yeah, we did. Well, the concept of the show is that just to make this all make sense, concept of the show is that a couple moves into this mansion. Mansion is inhabited by ghosts who all died in different time periods, and so we have no concept of the real world, and we're all just trapped in this house.
Is it true that you don't wear pants on the show?
Yeah, that's also true. Yes. And so there's an episode where my character, and we're all just like clowns and like children because we have no agency or abilities at all. My character with a lot of effort can move objects ever so slightly. So there's a very fun episode in season 1 where the husband's sister shows up and she's matched with this guy in the area on this dating app, and she's really excited to meet him. And then you find out that I'm the guy because I have been working night after night after night after night, discovering what dating apps are and working so hard to create a profile, and as a dead person catfished this woman. And the picture that our showrunners Joe Port and Joe Wiseman wanted a picture for my dating app profile, and I gave them a picture of me and Zazi. So Zazi's
on the show.
Zazi's on the show.
Zazie.
And then there's another episode in season 2 where we have a memorial for me, and so Zazi's in that one too.
Oh my God.
And so they just wrote an episode this season about Trevor's dog, and the story of it all being is that there's a situation in which an animal dies, and we're all fighting over who can have it as a pet. I won't give anything away, but or I won't give most of it away. But the end of it is it becomes a resolving thing for Trevor, who knows that when he died, there was a dog waiting for him at home. And so
Oh my God.
so
really?
it's
That's so
it's a show. It's a comedy about death.
That's so sweet.
There's some tear jerkers. But all that to say that we have these relationships and
they transform.
we are. Yeah, and they transform us, and there is a sense that I think you have this sense of a responsibility for this animal, and a sense that you are their world because you can see how they light up for you. And I mean, we've been shooting the show for 4 years, and it took my parents, I think, for 4 years to come and visit, just because my mom was like, I can't leave the animal. What am I gonna do? I can't leave the animals.
I get it.
So
Yeah.
it's a real thing.
I'm so glad Zazie's on the show. I feel like she deserves a Doggy's Choice nomination.
She does. She does.
Yeah.
There's a picture of her that went around of her wearing a little ghost bandana.
Oh,
So
really?
Yeah. So
okay.
she's
Is she
doing
gonna be
her
date
her
for the
job.
awards?
Oh my God, that'd be amazing. Wouldn't that be amazing?
I mean, at least at home she should
she would
dress
be
up or something.
She would be my first choice, and I'm probably the first choice of anyone who was there. I would think.
Yes, of
Right?
course.
Who
Are you
wouldn't want
kidding?
that?
I've been on 2 red carpets that had dogs on the red carpet, and all my anxiety went out the way. Red
Yeah,
carpet.
yeah, yeah.
It's just it's a very unique experience, and we're lucky to get to have that. But at the same time, it can be a little nerve wracking. And twice there have been dogs, and I'm like, yeah, cool. Just give me the dog.
Yeah,
And now I'm happy.
I can see how. Yeah, it would
Yeah.
probably be. Are there spots? I know we probably have to wind down soon, but are there where does Linus like getting rubbed?
Oh my
Are there
God.
spots?
He loves the shoulder massage.
A shoulder massage.
Oh my God. I think because his back legs, he's still aware. I mean, I've only had him a year. He's been through 2 surgeries. He finally got the all clear in like July, August of this year. And then we were like off to Canada in New York. Like we've just been running around like crazy. And I think he's
Is this
still,
for work?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
and I think he's just been very aware that his back legs are good, but so I feel like when he jumps and when he's like, even just moving around, I feel like he has a lot of pressure on his front. So I think when I give him his little shoulder massage, oh my God, he will just sit there and that's like, I think mostly his spot, and then his little head. But I get like right up in his face, and I
do that.
he's
I do
insane.
too.
He's
I
my
do
like.
So no, please no. Continue.
Can I tell you a crazy story?
Yes, of course.
And then I know we do have to wrap. So my dog who passed away a couple years ago, Peanut,
Peanut.
3 years ago. Yeah, so she was like another soul dog. She had been.
This is we do this.
She came to me. Oh,
Sorry.
that's full on. That's like a full on embrace.
And we're big on the inner ear massage.
Oh yeah. Yes, you are. Like right under. Oh my God, this is the cutest thing I've ever seen. Oh my God. Does she ever get the like foot going? Do you ever hit that spot too?
She
Yeah.
gets that, yeah. She's an inner ear and a belly girl.
How's the heart?
Wait, I interrupted you. I mean, my God, there's clearly no sign of slowing down.
Right.
She's had more injuries and more stuff than any dog I've ever had, and she's still got the motor.
Good. Peanut Peanut 3 years ago, it was like very sudden, like out of nowhere illness passing that I was just not prepared for at all. Not that we ever are, but the abruptness of it really took it out of me for a very long time. And so it took me a couple years to even like come around. And I've had, like your family, I've had dogs, multiple dogs my whole life. And I was the first time without an animal. And because of that, I felt this like pressure of, I've always felt like they've kind of shown up in some way to me. I've not had to put that much energy into like looking for a dog. And so this time I was like, well, I think I'm kind of ready. I was a little bit like, well, why hasn't a stray just wandered down the street and found me? Or like, so then it became like, like, where's my dog? Yeah. And I was like, oh, wait, Maggie, like we have to put a little energy into this too. And almost immediately I saw this picture on a purposeful rescue in LA. And I see Linus's face and I'm like, by the way, his description was like fractured pelvis, 2 bad needs multiple surgeries. And for whatever reason, I was like, that's my dog. So I called the rescue and she was like, I was leaving town the next day and she was like, come and meet him. You have to meet him today. We know nothing about him. Literally just picked him up from the shelter. I met him, still had to take my trip. She was like, he's got to have these surgeries. We don't really adopt dogs out until they're ready. And he's like, I don't know, but I know her. She knows me. She knows my history a little bit. So, I was like, if I'm adopting him, I want to be the one, like, I want to help him through the recoveries. I want to go through that with him. And anyway, so I was home and I had this like wave of grief. I was home in Kentucky exactly this time last year visiting my family. And I was like, I told my mom, I think I'm going to adopt this dog. I just felt this like wave of grief of like, oh my God, I really have to like let Peanut go now, and I was like, wait, no, I don't. Like I can. And I was like, Peanut, I'm going to say yes. I'm going to sign these papers. I think this is my dog. I think I'm ready, like whatever. And I was like, any sign, anything you want to throw my way to like let me know, like I'm ready and he's ready. I'm gonna cry telling the story. So I go to bed. I like literally in my childhood bedroom in my home last year, and then I wake up to an email from the rescue with all his like records, and I like start looking through mostly the shelter because I wanted to see like how did he come in and like who brought him in, why was he there, why was he hurt, and I see that his shelter intake day is the same day. It's the 2-year anniversary of Peanut passing. Peanut passed away on December 9th, 3 years ago. So this is December 9th now, 2023. So 2 years to the day he went into the rescue or into the shelter. I was like, oh, okay. That feels kind of like a sign. I'll take that. And then I look and they guessed that he was 2 years old and they gave him a birthday of December 9th, the exact day.
Wow.
She passed away on December 9th, 2021. So they guessed because of his teeth. I don't know how they can do that, like can tell like whatever age he was. So yeah, that's kind of like, that's why I never, that was a weird, I was like, okay, remember how I said like dogs sort of like have a way of finding us? Like this was a weird, I really believe like Peanut had something to do with it.
And what was Peanut? What breed? How?
She was like a Dachshund Chihuahua, like a tiny dog. And what's weird is I'd always had these like massive, I had a French Mastiff, an English Bulldog, a Blue Heeler, like
oh my God.
Big dogs. Yeah. I've always been a big dog person. And Peanut came to me as like someone said, we found this dog. My dogs are a little aggressive. I was like, I'll foster her. Fine. I'm not a small, like I have big dogs. This will never work. So I feel like I'll be able to foster and also let the right family adopt her.
Yes.
2 days in. I was like, I'm dead. I was with Melanie. I was actually with Melanie. We were talking about my friend Melanie earlier, who everybody hears me talk about on my podcast because she's like my bestie. But Melanie, we had a standing date for years and we went to our little date and it was 2 days into having Peanut. And she was just like, pop it. That's what she calls it. She's like, are you out of your mind? This is so your dog. And I started crying like at the bar. I was like, this is my dog. So that was Peanut. Yeah. So then I'm a small dog. Yeah.
How did you obviously work a lot. And how do you, when you had a big dog, how did you do it?
Well, in Vancouver, when I was shooting in Vancouver, because it was 6 months on and 6 months off, I just drove up every year and he would
so you can do
and they would live there. The last 2 seasons of that,
you would just get dog, because obviously a day on set is wildly unpredictable. You would just get dog walkers and
brought them.
You brought them to set.
Yeah.
Wow.
We by season 2 or 3, we basically had like the dogs. All of us had our dogs there, so they could all play with each other.
Okay.
And then on other stuff, I mean, it's tough. Like that's like the away version, but like the home version when you're on set or on like a sitcom or something like that, I would have, either multiple visits from a dog walker every day. At least sitcom is a little better, right? Like the hours are not as insane. It's not like
a multicam or
multicam.
Yeah, for sure.
But so most of the time, and this is where the small dog comes in handy.
Yes, well that's why I'm asking, because I've always I always have the impulse of like I want every day, and I always want to have a dog with me every day. And I look at having a dog up there on Ghosts would be mayhem. A big dog.
Yeah. I mean, you have to do, that's where it's tricky. Like you have your dog, but at the same time, you have to do what's best for Zazie and her life too.
Yes,
so like,
of course.
As much as you want to have her with you, if it's better for Zazie to be on her, farm and you see her when you can, then that's the best thing you could do for Zazie.
Yeah, that's absolutely the best thing but even for, a trailer is not, for a big dog is not
It's tough.
Yeah.
It is tough. I mean, yeah. And it depends on, I guess, where you are, how much you work. But I mean, I always just would have my dogs with me in my trailer like a crazy person on set.
That's great.
I don't know how I did that actually for all those years. And then when it was just Peanut, it was a lot easier because she could sit here. And Linus is a little bit bigger, but he's still, when I was in Vancouver this last time, he did really well. He really liked the trailer. Like we had like 3 dogs and they would all get in the trailer and play
That's
together.
if you got a group.
And then people will come all day. The ADs just all day long come and love on them because they just want an excuse. That's the other thing. If you did have Zazie at set, I will say, finding people to watch your dog on set is very easy. Everybody wants that break in the day. That's where I would be. I'd be like, people, no. Dogs, yes.
Yeah. Like there's not even like a having to go out. Like she just runs her own life.
Yeah, see? And that's like, she's used to that. You let her have that.
I'll tell you one little little detail with her is she has discovered there's a blue heron, a bunch of blue heron that come along to get the fish in the pond.
Mm-hmm.
And Zazie has discovered these blue heron. And if someone says Big Bird, she sprints out the house and starts and she comes close. Like one of these days it may happen.
She knows Big Bird?
She knows Big Bird. And she's a Big Bird.
That's so cute.
It's like in a cartoon when like the carpet, like someone's running and the carpet falls up.
My dog, Franck, the French Mastiff, used to
Franck. Great name.
French Mastiff.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah. So he would always he would find injured animals. Like he'd find little injured, one's a squirrel, but find injured birds in the yard. And at first I would be like, buddy, no, like you can't hurt. He'd never bite down. He would just bring them in and sit them down.
You bring him into the house?
Bring them into the house and be like, this bird needs help. The 2 or 3 times that happened, there's a animal sanctuary I found in Malibu that'll take baby birds that will that need repair, that need healing.
I've never seen a dog do that, but I see the Instagram videos of those and like dogs bringing friends home, and I think they're the cutest things in the world.
They also sometimes I think bring them in as like offer like a prize, like look what I brought home to you.
Yes.
But that's I think more when they.
That's also, I think that's a very cat thing.
That is a very cat thing.
I kept it alive just so you could witness the.
I just always would be like, Franck was so big that if there was, he'd bring in this one time it was like the tiniest little baby wren, I think. And it was I was like, buddy, oh my God, I thought for sure he did it.
Yeah.
No. The bird it was an injury.
I remember our cats would bring stuff in when I was younger to my mom, and she'd always try to nurse something back to health, and we'd have these like a bird cage in the house, and this bird healing, trying to survive.
Oh.
And then all the cats lined up outside of this cage just staring in at this poor bird. This poor bird is like, I don't want to get better, please.
I don't want to judge, but dogs are better than cats. Dogs are better than cats.
I agree.
Anything else you want to add about Zazie or anything?
I'm sure 50,000 things will hit me.
Anything,
as I
by
leave.
The way, follow-ups. I'll be back.
I really would. If you want to go and do an on location out at the farm.
That's what I usually. So
Henry's,
if you want
to do that,
house. Yeah.
Then there's gonna be 2 other dogs there, the cats.
Oh my God, can we please do that?
Please.
I'm gonna I'll bring my stuff next time. So it'll be a party at your farm.
Right, please.
And we'll make it happen.
Do it in the barn.
Oh, you all are on hiatus right now, right?
We're on a holiday hiatus, and we finish February 15th, and then I'm gonna do a quick trip to Iceland with a buddy, but then I'll be around.
Fun.
Yeah.
I love Iceland.
This is by the way the year to see the Northern Lights. I don't know if you've heard this.
I've seen all of the headlines that they're everywhere.
This is the big year.
So Iceland. So when I went to Iceland, literally every day it was cloudy.
Oh, no.
I went to see them. So there is that. So go long enough. I was only there for 5 days.
Yeah, we're doing Norway this week, and then we're gonna do Iceland.
You're going to Norway this week?
This week.
How fun!
Yeah.
We'll have a great trip.
I'm very excited.
That's very cool. I've never done Norway. I've done all the other Scandinavians, but not. I feel like Norway. I want to go and stay there.
We're staying at a place, I believe that trains and houses huskies for dog sledding. So it's going to be a week of Northern Lights and dog sledding.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Are you going
Pullman
with
Husky is
your
the name.
girlfriend?
Yes.
Oh my God. That's your holiday.
That's my holiday. Yeah.
Oh my God. That's a
I'm very
holiday.
excited. Yeah.
Good for you. You all have fun.
Thank you.
I'm definitely coming to the farm. What?
Oh no, you had like I could,
Jealous. That was
could
jealousy.
feel it, yes.
I couldn't hide it at all.
Yeah, it means all of it
yes.
is accessible. It's great.
Yes, jealous. And
What are you doing for the holidays? What's the?
I'm going to be in LA. I have
Gonna be in LA.
traveled so much this year.
Yeah.
My brothers are in LA, so I'm going to be in LA
nice.
with Linus, and then
Did everyone move from Kentucky to LA? Were you
and
the
then my mom
trendsetter?
moved back. I was young. I was 17 when we moved to LA. So my mom and brother and I all moved out together, and then my older brother came later. And then once he got there, my mom went back to Kentucky, and she was like, "I'm gonna stay here now."
Okay.
But the three of us stayed out there. So my
Nice.
brothers
Are they all in this business?
No, one is he was in the music industry for a long time. He left it all, and he is now a teacher, and this year made dean and a basketball coach at a high school out there. Yeah.
Very
and
nice.
then my older brother, he always gets mad at me when I try to describe what he does.
Oh God.
He basically sells like bulk kitchen equipment to restaurants.
Oh.
And he's a big wine guy. So those are he's always like, you tell people that because his occupation is more.
I'm trying to figure out what he'd be mad about.
Because I think that it's way more specific than that. And I kind of sum it up, and he's like, but he's like the regional, he's become like the regional leader of sales.
There's an impressive title in there.
Title and all of that. And so I think, but my younger brother and I are the more, I think, creative.
Gotcha.
That way. Chris expresses himself more like outside of what he does. What he does is what he does, and he's very good at it. But then like he sort of like soul wise doesn't have to do that for a living.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But he finds it in other ways. So
he has the fortitude or the discipline to not need everything from your career.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's very
I don't
happy.
have that. I don't have that.
I don't either. And so we hustle.
That's
and so
right.
we live in our heads.
Yes,
but
exactly.
And we have dogs.
Yes.
Chris doesn't have a dog. So maybe that's why. Anyway, that's how they take care of us. Okay. I cannot thank you enough.
No, thank you.
Thank you for your availability, but also thank you just for your openness and I think understanding of the importance. I don't know if it's important to me, but the importance of this podcast and telling these stories.
I love it. If you ever need a co-host, I'm so down. I think this is really so cool. Please.
Anyway, I'm going to take whatever. It's fine. We're already failing at our hosting jobs.
Come here.
There we go. Yes, I'm going to take you up on that.
Please.
Oh my God, it'd be so fun.
The New York host or something.
Yes, I will.
I would love
Asher,
to do that.
You're hired.
Great.
Okay.
Sign me up.
Oh my God. Thank you. Anything else? Anything else you want to say before we stop recording?
Like 50 things are going to hit me when I walk out the door.
And that's why we have follow-ups at the farm in New Jersey.
Great.
And also co-hosting opportunities.
Great.
But
Love it. And you'll bring Linus, because when Linus tastes for the first time the magic of the chicken chewy, which is the special chewies that we have, he's gonna lose his mind.
Oh God!
You want to see your dog become a drug addict? This is the way to do it.
Okay, good. Oh, good. I cannot wait. I can't wait.
Okay, that's it for today's episode of Unconditional. We love Asher so much. We love Zazi so much. We cannot wait for the follow-up episode. If you enjoyed this episode, please follow, rate, and leave a review. And also, if you have a great story about your pet, connect with us on socials because we want to hear all the stories and share all the stories. If you're craving more heartwarming pet stories, you can catch us every week wherever you get your podcast. Until next time, remember, the love we share with our pets is truly unconditional. Take care and give all of your furry friends and family members an extra hug from me.